Ascension, Treyarch's first additional installment to the Call of Duty game Black Ops 1. One of the most casual-driven maps for its time, having multiple open areas making it easy to train, also introducing two new items. One, the Matryoshka dolls, a set of Russian dolls when released would let off multiple explosions that could prove to be lethal. And two, the Gersh device, a portable black hole device thrown would pull the zombies into its devastating darkness. This map has a very significant standpoints for casual and competitive zombie players and is known as a fan favorite across all remakes. Also, I just wanted to say I plan to make this a series going through every map, so if you enjoy, please let me know. Though a casual driven map, there's another side to this map where people study and observe the map and learn every little detail to give them all the advantage they can to reach the highest round to their capability. This is the side we'll be looking at today. So before we get into this, I just want to explain a few things that can help the ones who are less knowledgeable. So in zombies, most things on the map contain entities, and entities get what's called snapshotted, which you can think of as a mini save. The longer the game goes on, the more entities that get snapshotted. And as you may have assumed, there's a maximum amount of entities that can get snapshotted. So meaning that when that amount is maxed out, cause the game to end in various ways, such as going back to round 1, crashing, etc. This resets the entity counter, and this normally on Ascension happens around 70 hours, with each map being different because of a different max amount of entities on each map. So to counter this, players must play as fast as they can, killing zombies as consistent as they can, also removing all entities from the map, such as quick revive, claymores, and the generator from the first step of Easter egg help lower that entity counter. Into my second point, to measure what strategies are the fastest, we measure in what's called SP8 seconds per horde, and all this means is how many seconds does it take to kill a full horde, 24 zombies. The lower the number, the better and faster the strategy is. Okay, so my final piece of information is on World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 4, around 163 with BO4 Insta rounds starting earlier. The zombies' health goes back to round 1 health, making them significantly more weak. This happens on and off every round for the rest of the game. This makes 1 hour rounds turn into 30 minutes, because you can use a pack-a-punch weapon to kill zombies at very low SPH, being the key to making such high rounds possible. Okay, now into the world record and how it was done. Very beginning of the game, you remove quick revive by downing yourself twice, only leaving 1 revive the entire game. You do this to extend the reset period, because if the quick revive machine is not present on the map, it cannot count as entities, as it also helps the player in the long run. You then proceed to hit the box as well as defending your perks to get jug. You get these from the monkeys without opening it, and this gives you the advantage by making the monkey rounds faster and easier. This is referred to as lock jug. Once set up, early rounds are camped at the power switch near the original mystery box spawn location, using Thundergun to kill around 15 to 14 zombies per shot, and when low on ammo, you use a combination of Mustangs, Sallies, ray gun, and claymores to kill the zombies to give you drops. This is known as forcing drops. These are used because unlike Black Ops 3, the Thundergun does not give you drops. In this area, you have no carpenters and possibly no fire sales if you get a first box setup. I explain this why this happens in my drop cycle video, which I will link. Leaving only the death machine, insta-kill, nuke, max ammo, double points, and fire sale potentially. Getting a max ammo from the monkeys every 4 to 5 rounds. This is decided by RNG and can only be influenced if you have no perks, since they take your perks, and if you have no perks, then they have no reason to come. As well as when QR is not on the map, since there is no machine for the monkeys to attack. This does come into play because if they do not touch your perks, you get a free perk, meaning you can get all 6 perks on the map. Early rounds while running power strat, you do not want stamina because it will cause the monkey rounds to be slower and add the risk of adding carpenters to your drop cycle, leaving you defending Mule Kick, Speed Cola, PhD Floppers, since Juggernaut and Quick Revive are unable to be taken. Typically the next monkey round has 58 depending on your drop luck, and once you have removed all claymores, you will switch to the pack-a-punch strat, which is around 17 SPH, meaning every 17 seconds a horde of 24 zombies is killed. The strategy is continuing using the Gersh devices for drops. Once you are out of ammo with the Thunder Gun, you then proceed to do what is called a trade, by replacing the Thunder Gun with another weapon and hitting the mystery box until you receive it back, enabling you to kill another 42 hordes of zombies, 14 from the base Thunder Gun and 28 from the Pack-a-Punch Thunder Gun. When trading, you must factor in monkey rounds and the ammo needed to kill the monkeys. Also, Mule Kick is brought into play here, as having 3 weapons out the box gives you a better chance for the Thunder Gun. You can also trade your Gershes to get them back by trading in 4 Matryoshka dolls and getting them back. This strategy is ran until round 163. Going back to what I said about insta-kill rounds, which start at 163, players must optimize the insta-kill round strats using various strategies. The fastest strategy at 12 SPH is the M16 strategy, where players proceed to go to the M16 wall buy area and using a combination of the Pack-a-Punch M16 and the grenade launcher attachment to kill zombies during this round. Now, you may have assumed that the monkey rounds may fall in the same rounds as insta-kill rounds, resulting in what is called a missed insta. The less of these, the better, as missing an insta will cause you to lose time, meaning it's slower. Also, when you get an insta-kill round, if monkeys are the following round, they will also be insta-kill. You switch between these 2 strategies the rest of the game until you reset, leaving the game in its entirety. Now, as I do my best to explain the game using my knowledge, I've decided to invite 3 guests on today. One being Zomba, the current Ascension world record holder at round 233, and the first person to get no jug instas. Vexy, a friend of mine who has the 3-person Ascension world record. And Ferret, the first person to have co-op instas and the infamous 240. Talk about their knowledge and understanding of the game. Alright, so I'm here with Vex, or Vexy. He's the holder of the 3-player Ascension record. He plays it pretty frequently, so yeah, we're here to ask him some questions. Vex, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me on.
I thank you for coming on. So first question, I'm gonna start off. Can you explain what the 240 is and why it's like not the world record?
240 is the highest round achieved on Ascension. Ferret Kinwalk did it like last year, but the thing with the game is yes, the highest round ever achieved on the map, but he used some third-party tools, like a health bar, to help him in the game. And also he used fast ray, which is also controversial. And like health bar helps a lot with, like, it tracks your health. So like if you get hit a few times, you can see like what's your health at, like what your health is, and you can see like when you replenish the health basically. So you know when you can go through certain gaps, jump through traps and stuff, because you know like when your health is 100 basically. And what you're like, you know if you're 1 hit or 2 hit. So it's just easier to stay alive with health bar. Still a really impressive game though, with health bar and fast ray.
What makes it so impressive?
The fact that he got so fucking lucky. And obviously he played a really good game, but I think the game is just really, really lucky. And what makes it impressive, I guess he played M16 all the way to 240 without downing twice, like he locked QR. Yeah, that's impressive. And then like, just to get around like that, you can't just be lucky, like you have to be really good too. And obviously he played like a really good game, and I think it's really lucky because he only missed like 4 instas like the whole game as well. Like the instas were kind of lined up perfectly for him to get a 240, because he had 235 monkeys, I think, and he needed the 4-rounder and 239 to get the 240, because he wouldn't have had time to get through 239. And he got the 4-rounder and to get the 240, which is really lucky. And I just don't think anyone Like maybe someone will get something close to it, or tie it, but I don't think anyone's ever gonna get higher than 240. It's basically like the max on the map, I think.
I guess we'll have to see. Okay, so I wanted to ask you, what is the difference going from solo to like a three-person game? Like what goes into that?
Well, it's completely opposite. Like the two, like solo, you can pause. You can, like, you don't have to worry about other players. You run different strategies. Like in 3-player, you don't have to worry about zombies while hitting the box. You know, like a player is just gonna hold the zombies while you hit the box. Rounds are much longer 3-player. Like I think around like 105 in the 3P probably took like an hour or something, like 45 minutes, depending on a trade. Just rounds are much longer. Like I think 113 compared to solo, like completing 113 would be compared to completing like a round in like the 220 solo, with how long it is, because you have double the zombies on the map for 3P or triple. So yeah, it's just kind of grueling because you can't really sleep. I mean, if you're trying to like optimize the map, you can't really sleep that much either. So like rounds are really long and you're not sleeping that much. So it's a grind for sure.
So you mentioned like hitting the box and everything. Can you like go into like an explanation of like how important like the box plays into Ascension and like having a good average and
Yeah.
fast hit?
So you get the T gun from the box. So, and you can only kill zombies with the thunder gun. So you need the thunder gun, and so basically you want to get the thunder gun as fast as you possibly can to kill the zombies as fast as you can. So you gotta hit the box as fast as you can and run to other spots, like box spots, as fast as you can. There's ways of hitting boxes solo, just that are just optimized to the point where it's really fast, but not like too risky. It's pretty safe. So like you want to hit the boxes like as fast as you can, but at the same time you don't want to kill yourself while doing it. Like, so you gotta kind of be careful doing it.
You want to be fast but safe.
Yeah, you gotta like make good decisions. Like don't try to force like a box hit that is like 50-50, like, oh, I can get through this gap. Maybe, maybe not. Like, just kind of be patient. Like that one box hit is gonna be like 5 seconds off your time.
Yeah. You rather ensure your safety than throw the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is, you mentioned this earlier, what is the potential of the map? Like what things do you like, what do you think needs to happen to like reach that potential?
I think higher than 240 is theoretically possible. Theoretically, you could probably get like a 242, but a 242 would basically be like winning the lottery. Like it would take like that much luck to get. Because the 240 itself, you know, is extremely hard to get and keep pace with. Like I keep pace, like I compare my times to firsts and shit. Like it's not easy to like stay on pace with that game. And to get anything higher than that, it would take like basically not missing many instas, like Furret did. Like just don't miss that many instas, and just better trades, I think, and just maybe play a little bit better. So I'm pretty sure Furret didn't play like extremely optimized. Like I think Zamba plays better than Furret does, to be honest. Like in terms of doing like little things that save you like 5-10 seconds here and there. Like I think Zamba probably plays it more optimized. Just Furret got really lucky I think that in order to get something higher, like yeah, you just need really good insta luck and just really good trades and play really well at the same. Like you would need to play like perfect. It would be like a perfect game, I think. And the person playing the game would have to have like years of experience on the map, like a Fire Emblem Slayer, you know, like something like that.
I don't think we'll ever see 240 beaten, but I'd love to see it beaten. I think we might see it tied at some point in the future, but never achieved again. Well, that's about wraps it up, Vex. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it, and I will have you linked down in the description. So everyone, please go follow Vexy Boy.
No problem. Yeah.
Good. So I'm here with Furret, who is probably one of the best Black Ops 1 players there is. He has 4 solo world records, and the only 2 co-op instas to ever be played. So he's up there. He's up there with the best. Furret, thank you for coming.
Yep, no problem.
So we'll start out with the first question. You played the 174 co-op on Ascension, and it was the first co-op game to ever have instas. What makes it different from solo? Like, what things is different from solo, and what goes into that game?
So the first thing is the setup. So like as most players know, like nowadays we all play Ascension with locked QR, and like so we can have guaranteed jug, extended reset, and like still 1 QR left to force at least 1 insta. So basically on co-op it's way harder to get a setup, because getting locked jug requires 2 players to have jug with monkeys, and what happened with Cap is that we are restarting for 5 hours and it didn't happen. So the setup is the first like kind of thing you have to deal with. Then like it's like for the most part it's almost the same as a solo game, except in co-op the trades are way different. Like in solo you just have to deal with like the full horde, and like the different scenarios are pretty limited. So basically like you have like a couple of traps to activate, like depending on where the box is. But in co-op you're gonna do this as much as possible. So like even if the box is at Mule Cake or Spade Cola, you're gonna turn on the trap and try to deal with the zombies. And you will have to communicate with your partner like the entire game. And considering like how much sleep you'll get through the entire game, it becomes kind of hard. And yeah, sometimes you can have some very messy situations in where like you have a ton of zombies at Mule Cake, then your partner is like, I don't know, at PhD, and if you go down or something, then like your partner has to like revive you, and that means like having a shit ton of zombies coming from everywhere. So I would say that's the main difference. Also, co-op instas are different. From what has been tested, M14 is faster than M16 in solo. So that means that in co-op you will be running M14 like 1 downstairs and 1 upstairs, which is I think one of the fastest insta strat on the game. I don't remember the SPH, but it's quite fast.
Okay, so I know unlike solo, in solo you can get missed instas, but on Ascension co-op instas, you found a way to basically never practically miss one. Unless
Oh yeah. So actually with Cap we're supposed to get either 163 monkeys or 164. So at the end of 162, you just keep one zombie or a couple of zombies. So you have to, like, both players have to be perk less. Like you have to get rid of your perks by going down. And then we just get through round 162. Like we just kill the last zombies of 162 and get to 163. So that way we are guaranteed to not miss 163. In co-op, not missing instas is way more important than in solo, because you have very limited amount of instas, and like the time difference, since the rounds are so long in co-op, you have to like make sure you don't miss a single insta. But with cap, basically we got very lucky. We had to do this only once, and then we got we got 164, 168, and 172 monkeys, which was insane, to be honest, especially considering we got reset 1 minute into 174.
So, reset is obviously different and influenced differently in co-op than solo, because you can't pause in a co-op game. So, what is like explain like your strategy for that, and why you must be sleep deprived and play as much as you can without sleep?
Yeah, like in co-op games you can't pause, or like at least until now no way has been found to like pause the game or anything. So like the way to like push the games is to sleep like as less as possible. So like I think we slept like 5 hours in the entire game. So of course, since you'll be with only one zombie behind a window, in terms of entities for the reset, that's gonna be less important. So like the time that you'll spend sleeping will be like less influent on the reset than if you were playing. But that's still very important to keep in mind that the reset is still going while you're sleeping. So there are like different types of players in co-op. Like there are those who like prefer to sleep and take less like little breaks, and there are like other people who tend to sleep a lot less. And personally, and it was the same thing for cap, we just prefer to take like, I don't know, like 2 hour sleep breaks and do like everything during the break and then like come back fresh, rather than just like kind of not sleep like during 30 hours and like have a break like at the end of every single round. But yeah, like I think that's one of the hardest thing to deal with in co-op, being efficient while not sleeping.
Yeah, I can imagine having 5 hours of sleep in 72 hours could definitely influence your gameplay. You've already broken down the 174. Is there anything you wanted to add about that may seem significant to people who don't know, or something they should know?
I think the 174 game is pretty impressive, even though it could be better, I guess. But we got very lucky with late monkeys. Like after 100, the monkeys were insane actually. The trades were becoming worse actually past 130. So I think that if we got luckier with trades and add like the same trades as I know, oxygen and caution as an example, we probably could have gotten 175, but I still don't know, because like our full run 174 in co-op is very long. So, but yeah, like the 174 game is one of the games I'm very proud of, and yeah.
Very rightfully so. So, I talked about this a little bit with Vex. And, you're the holder of the 240. Probably one of the most sought after and like looked at runs there's like been during zombies. What made it such a great game, but why, and like what makes it so controversial? I'll just let you explain it.
Alright, so I'm gonna start with the controversial part. So basically, back in days, we didn't have like a community agreement on health bar and fast rate. Health bar is nowadays pretty much accepted by everyone to be banned, because everyone agrees that an external program that changes your gameplay decisions shouldn't be allowed, as the same in the same way as the dog trackers and those kind of stuff are banned, and I think everyone agrees on that. About fast rate, still back in days we didn't have an agreement, and even nowadays it's still a topic for every players, I guess. Even though I don't really care about it. So in my opinion, anyways the run is invalidated by the health bar anyways. Fast rate can be accepted by some people. I personally don't accept it anymore, which is why I myself don't even consider my 240 game to be valid, even if the health bar wasn't a thing. So yeah. Then what made the game so special? So it was, I would say, about a month. I was playing Ascension like 80 hours a week or something, during every week. So basically, what happened this game is that I got very lucky through the entire game. My monkeys were insane, my trades were very good, and my missed instacky runs were insane as well. But the problem is, in my opinion at least, that's all it was. I was very lucky, and I did a lot of mistakes during this game, and I feel like a lot of people consider this game to be very impressive just because of how lucky I got. Which it makes the game good, but in my opinion you can get 240 with an average game as well. If I was replaying Ascension nowadays, I could see every single mistakes I was doing, and I think I would know how to improve my times. Without I could get the same round without being as lucky as I was back in days. So yeah, it's a good game, but at the same time, it's kind of wasted, in my opinion.
And the final question is, what do you think is the potential of Ascension, and what needs to happen to achieve it?
I would say the potential. I would say the dream game is actually the game I had, the 241, in terms of luck. But if you remove every single mistakes I made, probably, I don't remember if 241 is an insta-kill round. But I would say at least 242, and maybe 243. If you take my game and you would say instead of 239 monkeys I got 240, and I wasn't doing all of the mistakes I did, and I had time to play an entire round and another insta round, I would say 243. But yeah, that would be with a very lucky game, and probably a bit more lucky than what I had. But I know at least that you can probably be I don't know, with the same game, I would say about 1 hour and a half or 2 hours faster than me. So
just from improving your mistakes that you've made.
Yeah, and not even counting M16 instas, I guess. I know I was pretty slow in some situations.
Oh, those are all my questions. Do you have anything you want to add about Ascension, or your plans for it, anything?
Maybe I don't know if your video will be watched by like a huge part of like Aaron community, but like what I would say is there's literally no point in fighting on what Ascension record is, because anyways, like every single Ascension players, like if they want the record, they want at least 240. They don't really want 235 or something. Like anyways, like if you don't like a record, just beat it, in my opinion. That's just about it. There shouldn't be any fighting over a record or something. Just like if you're not sure about a record being the actual record, just beat it so the controversial record is just done.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. It's a very hot topic, and pretty much everyone's chat. I definitely see it in your chat a lot, and Zomba's, and anyone who's really playing Ascension. It's brought up a lot.
Yeah, I just feel like anyways, like, you know, when you like, I just keep the 240 time on my channel just to compare with like the times that you need to get to 240, so like people can compare to it and, you know, think about like, am I fast enough for 240 or not? But that's about it. Like at first anyways, if you care about what the record is, it means that you want to go for it in the first place, if you really care about it. So unless you get to 35 and you're really pissed about not getting the record because, you know, you think that 240 is the record, I don't really see the point of like, I don't know, like complaining about the record or like stuff like that.
I agree. Well, thank you for coming out and talking and everything. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's about it. That concludes everything. Zomba, or Zomba Live, however you want to refer to him.
Yo.
He is the holder of the Ascension solo world record, around 233, and the first person to get no jug instas. So that's pretty big as well. How are you doing, Zomba?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm ready to get into some Ascension questions.
Alrighty. We'll get straight into it. So
Mhm.
you have a 233. It's considered the record, but why and where did the game go wrong?
Well, basically, I had in mind like a 240. Like at the time, my goal was only to get like a 236 plus, I think. Like obviously now compared to then, I want a 240 because I think I can get it. Like I've put in so much time into the map. I pretty much know like everything there is to know. Like I've tried to optimize everything as best I can over the past like year or so since that game. But pretty much like I played pretty much as well as I could up until Instas, and then when I got to Instas, trying to run M16, I found out I was doing it wrong. Many people told me they were like, "Oh, you're doing it slow." Doing it slow, bro. I'm like, I'm on controller, like leave me alone. But since then, I've practiced it a lot. I've got it right. So when I do it again, it'll be a lot better, hopefully. Anyway, but so that was one thing. So doing M16 wrong, I then downed on 180 something, whatever it was, and then had to do M14 for the rest of the game. So that cost me like easily an hour and a half just of time. So that's down the toilet because I have to run M14. So yeah, that's gone. And then the other ones were the trades. I had a really good trade average up until Instas, or like 160, I think. And then literally right as I hit Instas, I kept getting really, really bad trades. I don't know what my traders average was. I would love for someone to tell me that because I'm too lazy to go and find out for myself. But it wasn't great. So that cost me a lot of time too. And then because I took the down in the 180s as well, I then started running PAP a lot slower to be safe because I knew that the game was pretty much dead. Like I wasn't getting my goal. past that point, so I just started doing everything a lot safer compared to how you would normally do it. So, like, for example, when you're trading, and you go to trade out the T-gun, the boxes at Stam, you can hit the trap on the way there. I stopped doing that. So that's every single trade, like half the time the box is going to be either on the mule side of the map or the Stam side. So every like second trade almost it's like I'm losing a horde. So that costs a shitload of time as well. And then I don't know what else. Yeah, for the rest I started getting unlucky, I guess. And yeah, with Pap I just started running it silver. Anything else? I don't really know. But I'm sure if you went back and watched it and compared it to Furits, it's a bit of a mess. But yeah, that's why I'm replaying, I guess, because it can definitely be pushed again, and that's that, I guess.
I guess it's definitely like something good to see yourself go from not doing something correctly to doing it perfectly or to your best of your capability. So you also have another like big thing in zombies. You have the first and there's only been 2 no jug instas, and you've had the first of them.
Yeah.
What was that like, and what went into that?
Well, doing that, I definitely knew I could get it because at the time I saw, I think it was like Mystical Camo. He was doing his no power runs, and I saw sort of like how they were hitting the box, and I was like, oh wow, that looks like really safe. I might give no power a try. And then I was like, oh, hang on, what's the no jug record? It was like 130, 140 or something like that. I think it was the no power record. I'm pretty sure Camo had it. That was on no power, and I was like, well, if you play with perk, surely it's going to be like a way easier and be able to pap. You're going to get that pretty quick. So I was like, yeah, open record. I'll go for it. I'll do it. So yeah, I just mixed in, like, sort of watched what he was doing and went through a couple of no power games and sort of learned how they hit the box safely. And then mixed it in with what I knew at the time, like trading and using the traps, because obviously no jug, you can't like jump back through the traps. So I'd only ever use them if like I was going from spawn using an unpapped T-gun, then having to pap it. You could run from spawn, like if you bolt there, you can do up a couple of windows in pap, and then like when they respawn, they'll all respawn evenly, like in a group, so they're not like all over the place. So trying to just optimize that, like safety with the speed element, was what made it really fun as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all it really came down to. And then like obviously when I got to Instas, I just ran M14. You're not gonna run M16. That's just that's just crazy. But M14 is like pretty much the same speed as like normal. If you're like gonna throw this out there, like if you're playing on mouse and keyboard, you're probably gonna have a much easier time shooting the zombies, and it's gonna be a little bit safer. But if you're on controller like myself, like dude, your trigger finger it gets pretty sore after like one round. It really hurt. Because you're just spamming, you're like, oh, just die, please. Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, like M14, that was pretty easy as well. I think I had like a couple of moments in my game where it got a little bit like overwhelming, but you just pull out your T-gun, it's pretty easy to deal with. So yeah, that's it.
What's the time difference between 233 and 176?
I don't know exactly, but I think no jug you can definitely push it to maybe like a 220, something around that area. Yeah, like if you want to be a crackhead, you can definitely do that. But the next time I play for no jug again, it'll definitely be like a 215 or something. Again, like RNG is still a factor. I mean, that I'm only like guessing, because in my game I didn't even, I only like I didn't even play to reset, you know, like that game was going to be a 200 as well, like along with Instas. Like I was on pace to get a 200 plus, but my game blew, I think my computer blue screened or froze or something. That was like, I had a game before that, I got to 162 and then it froze. And then the same thing happened. I left for work, like I left it on 174. Or what round did I get again? 170.
There's like 176, 178.
Whatever, yeah, whatever it was. Yeah, I left it and then came back and the game was froze, so that sucks. So it's probably gonna be 200, but oh well, I'll do it again and do it hopefully a little bit faster with what I know now.
Definitely. So what's your goal on the map?
My goal is just to play a game that I'm really happy with. Like I keep saying it's a 240, but that I think comes along the way with a game that I'm satisfied with. Like I just want to play to the best of my ability and play a game out like that to reset, like with all the knowledge about the map that I have and everything. Like normally when I play out a game past like 100, normally I don't have to quit. Like I only have to quit if the game, like if the trades are really, really bad. Like most of the time I think I've got it sort of nailed. Like I'm knuckled it down. But that's all that's really stopping me is just bad RNG, man. And of course downing. Like because I'm taking so many risks, like trying to play so fast, because facing the fact that you're not probably going to get 5 missed instas like it did and a good as trade average as him, you have to compensate for that time loss somewhere else. You know what I mean? So using traps more like risky, like hitting the box faster, that sort of thing, like doing more risky moves and that. That's sort of what you just have to do, you know? So along the way, you're probably going to face a couple of red screens and that in a game. And running PAP faster as well. Like getting T-gun fails is way more likely to happen when you run it at 16 to 17 SPH because of how many are coming out the door. Like when you get to the door and shoot, there's already a lot there. So that's just something to keep in mind as well. But yeah, go on.
No, you're fine. I was talking to Vex about how much time you would have to save and how, like, your last your last 3 sets of monkeys, like through the game, and how important they are if you wanted the 240 plus, and how much time you would have to save to get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, like, getting a 240 plus, like, there's been a few people that say, like, a 242 or, like, a 243 is possible. I don't believe them just on the fact that I've played this map so much and I've had so many runs past 100 to know sort of, like, what the limit is, if that makes sense. Like, I think I've had by around 5 200s, maybe 6 or something like that. I've had definitely past 10 times to instas, and I have like 100 and definitely easily 150 plus 100s on the map, like easily. And just with all that, like all the RNG, like all the different ways you can play, doing the trades and everything, like it's definitely come down to the point where getting a 240 plus is near impossible. That's just the way that I see it though. But 241 is definitely on the table, but you just have to get really, really, really lucky. That's all it really is. But yeah, like definitely in the later game, it's definitely important. But again, like getting as lucky as it did, again, is like just near impossible. It's not impossible, but it's just, you have to play out so many games as well as you possibly could. It's just like, that's just crazy, So before then, like getting to instas, like before instas, you really need the fastest time that you can possibly get, because of just you're gonna miss more instas than him. You know what I mean? So yeah, you definitely like your 100 time is definitely where you can make up the most amount. Like between I think 90 and probably like 120 is the sweet spot. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. About getting a 240 plus.
Alrighty. Last question. It
Mhm.
ties into this. What is the potential of the map, and what needs to happen? I think you just explained this, but what needs to
Yeah,
happen
well,
to achieve, like,
the
obtain that?
potential is definitely a 241 for sure. What needs to happen? A crazy amount of like good decision making, and along with that, a good couple of monkey rounds and some trades. And potentially some max ammos too, because like I was saying before, with how trades work and how you want to play it as fast as you can, sometimes saving a max ammo for later can be actually a good thing. Because like you might just have to do 2 trades in the round anyway, and you might have a monkey round coming up. You know, like you might have you know, you might be on 100 and something, and then you've got like I don't know how many hordes, but you've got like a T gun, and then you get a max ammo. It's not enough. You know what I mean? So maybe you know, saving it for later, where you might get a max ammo, and then you know you start off with like 28 bullets, and then you've got a max ammo. Okay, you can kill. You finish the round, and then you can maybe get another max ammo after that. So it works out evenly in a sense, if that makes sense. So yeah, like that going right, like getting the right instas. Not just the thing about Ascension as well is that people overlook this a lot. It's what happened with my 233 as well. It's sometimes getting the least amount is really good, of course, but also depending on when they fall is a big thing as well. Depending on when you're getting your max ammos, how much ammo you already have. When the monkey round is it going to fall on a double insta, you know, potentially, or like you know, the first round of double insta, like how much ammo are you going to have for that? Like there's a lot to think about after instas. It's definitely an overlooked thing, in my opinion. People really underestimate like what you need to do to get a really fast time, or like, sorry, to keep your pace after then. But yeah.
Alrighty. So that wraps up everything. That wraps up all the questions and everything. Is there anything you want to add about the map, or your plans for it, or anything like that?
So my plans, again, still the same. I definitely want to keep playing until I get a game that I'm happy with, because I know I can do it. I just need to not down, or I need to, when I don't down, I need to obviously keep playing until sort of the stars align. And then after that will come No Jug. I'll play again for like a 210 plus, and hopefully play that out pretty well. Get the first 200 No Jug as well, so that's cool. And then I don't know about co-op. Co-op is a maybe because I already have a 160. The thing about it is like finding time to do it, and then finding a person. Like the co-op record is already really high. Like it's really high. Like when I played with my mate Kai, like a little while ago, we found there are some ways, like there are some boxes that you can hit a little bit faster while using the traps compared to what Furred and Cap did. I've definitely found a way to do that, and it's a lot safer too. So that's really neat. So you can definitely save a bit of time doing that. But again, you need good trades and good monkeys, and obviously probably not to miss any to get the record too, because they didn't. Because Furred and Cap didn't. I don't think so. Yeah.
You could force your monkey rounds because of that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
perk system with the monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Any
all,
last
man.
points
That's
about the
it.
map you wanna?
I don't know. I think I've pretty much covered what I sort of wanted to say and what I wanted to talk about based off of your questions. I think that's a pretty good summary of the map and like how the record can be pushed and that sort of thing. So yeah,
Alright. Well, that's it, Zamba. I appreciate you a lot for coming on.
no
and
problem.
I wish you the best of luck with your runs.
Thanks.
I'll definitely be watching because it's pretty interesting. Yeah, that's everything. And yeah, thank you. Though looked at as a casual map, Ascension is obviously very different as to what I just exposed and explained about this map. I thank you for watching. If you like, please like and subscribe. Tell me what I need to improve or if you think the video was bad. I thank you all for watching. Peace out. See you in the next one.